This is Clemence, welcome to Scented Sofa, the first fragrance show of the internet, just because it's the only one. Today we're talking about some exciting news flash in the fragrance industry, some viral videos that are highly commented. Let's go! This is the first one for this long format, so we're gonna spend a lot of time on this little sofa, but also on a newsflash on my office. You can put that in the background, have some bites, or just do your makeup while you're listening to this, or do whatever you like, cooking, whatever you like. That's the aim. Because this is the first one, I would really like you to comment down below if you have any suggestion. If you want me to talk about one subject, there's always place in this format to include one subject about perfumery, not just one fragrance, but a subject, a society subject about fragrances, about a drama that happened, about something that you would like me to talk about or to express myself about. Please tell me at the end of the video if you would like some others like this, because if this format is not good for you and you don't like it, I'm not gonna carry on. But just to let you know, short format, like I always do, always gonna be in the channel, and this format is meant to be there once every 2 weeks or every month. It depends of the news in the fragrance industry, but I'll try to do as much as I can. Also, just to let you know, a big disclaimer here, I am not a journalist, I'm a fragrance expert. I have a perfumery training and also 3 years of studying into perfumery and luxury business. So, I'm an expert in fragrance, but I'm definitely not a journalist. I'm gonna give the source of my newsflash always in the description of the video, but please tell me if you think I'm wrong on something. It's totally fine because I'm not a journalist. And also, as I'm not a journalist, I'm always gonna give you my opinion, unprofessional opinion about the subject I'm talking about. That's it. Sorry for this massive ass intro, but I have to do this for the first. Also, you will have the summary of the video down in the description, so you can definitely go there if you want to listen to this, or go there if you want to listen to this. It's a long video, so I definitely know that you don't have to stay from the beginning to the end. Obviously, you're more than welcome to do this because it's better for my watch time, but in another case, that's totally fine. Today's scent of the day is Kayali Vanilla Coco 21. I'm still in my summer mood, so anything that smells like coconut, exotism and vanilla is beautiful. So it's really in the vibe of like Terracotta from Guerlain, Curaçao Bay, for example, those fragrances. But this one is a little bit more glamorous, a little bit more sweeter, I'd say, vibe than the other ones. You can definitely smell the flower, the suntan lotion, the coconut lotion for summer. But this one is definitely more sweet, like a sweeter, juicy cocktail. It's amazing, it lasts long. It feels a little bit more artificial, for example, than a Terracotta from Guerlain, but I'm absolutely loving it. Voila! Newsflash in the fragrance industry. And today we're going to start by talking about Elon Musk, which is quite surprising if you talk about fragrance industry to start to talk about Elon Musk. So Elon Musk is at the head of the company, The Boring Company, and they decided to create their own fragrances. The director of Twitter wanted to create the essence of repugnant desire, quoting. He even went further to change his bio on Twitter, calling himself a perfume salesman. After a few months last year, there was a report that established that he sold approximately 30,000 bottles of his fragrances, and now we a year later, and this numbers has been exploding. So according to The Byte, tens of thousands of idiots bought Elon Musk Burned Hair, that's the name of the fragrance, perfume, and now it is sold out. So it's been quite a success for the fragrance, but if you look at the name Burned Hair, obviously this is a little bit of a troll from the master of troll from Twitter, Elon, because he's known for this. The founder of SpaceX revealed in a tweet that basically this was all a farce, and he said, buy my perfume so I can buy Twitter. So this happened just before he actually purchased Twitter. I don't think he needed money that much, but is its fragrance is good? I don't know because I didn't try it. The fragrance costs a lot of money to come to the UK, so I was like, for a troll, is it really worth it? I don't think so. But anyway, Fragrantica did my job, which is excellent because this article in Fragrantica has been just released a few days ago and it meant a huge backlash in the comments. If you read the article from Fragrantica, it is definitely something that is very ironical. Like, you could tell they're taking a little bit the piss, if I may say, calling the fragrance a great material for self-defense, looking at the bottle design, or an excellent option for separation. And I know you guys really want to know how it smells. Well, me too. And for the article in Fragrantica, it does smell like a pre-packed tuna salad. So, is it worth it? I'm not sure. The scent has also been qualified as something that will not change the climate, quoting. But what is really interesting with that is the comment down below. Some people have been complaining that the article was too much political. And people like to see objectivity in fragrance review, which was not really the case here. It was really like bashing the fragrance. Is it worth it? We don't really know. I'll leave you with some of the comments. If you tried the fragrance, let us know in the comment. We would really like to know if it smells like a tuna salad. Next, Prince Harry. This is gonna be a little bit sadder, but I thought it was quite a cute information to know. Indeed, Prince Harry revealed how Princess Diana's, so his mother, fragrances have been coped with her death in his latest book, Spare. If you're lucky enough to have read the book, you will know what I'm talking about. As a reminder, Princess Diana died in a car crash in Paris in 1997. Prince Harry at this time was 12 years old, and he revealed that during his therapy, the psychologist asked him to remind the moment of bedtime with his mother, Princess Diana. The first thing that comes to his mind when he was a child was remembering inhalating her fragrance. He said this was a time of breakthrough for him and his therapist, and they really deep and dive into that smelling subject. And further in the therapy, Harry also brought the fragrance of his mom. And if you ask what fragrance he brought, it was first by Van Cleef & Arpels. I really personally love this fragrance. I remember when some people would come to me and tell me, oh, I love number 5, I would like a fragrance that really looked like Chanel number 5, I would go for first. It's a very beautiful fragrance, maybe a bit more lighter, so easier to wear maybe, but this feels very, very old vintage, so it's full of aldehyde, champagne-like, things like that. Quoting, at the start of the session, I lifted the lid, took a deep sniff like a tab of LSD. Nice. I read somewhere that smell is our oldest sense, and that filled with what I experienced in that moment, images rising from what left, felt like the most primal part of my brain. Now we carry on into the sad news, unfortunately, and I'm very, very sad to tell you this information. You might have seen that a few days ago we lost a master perfumer in the fragrance community, and it's Olivier Pescheux. Indeed, he died July the 10th after dealing with a very long disease. To respect the privacy of his friends and his family, I'm not going to talk too much about the disease and everything like this. This was the statement of the fragrance company Givaudan. We are deeply saddened by the loss of Olivier Pescheux. He had not only been the architect of many of the most beautiful and iconic fragrances of the industry, but also an adored person dedicated to his art and committing to mentor the upcoming generation of perfumers. This statement was released by Gilles Andrier, who is the CEO of Givaudan, the fragrance company. And indeed, I think Olivier Pescheux contributed a lot to what is nowadays perfumery. It's a great name in the fragrance industry. If you're not too familiar with the name, I encourage you to have a little look of what is his creation. But I can tell you, for example, Eau du 34 by Diptyque, Divine Vanille from Essential Parfum, Amber Sky Ex Nihilo, Oud Vert Intense Fragrance du Bois, which is one of my top favorites of Fragrance du Bois, Mont Blanc Explorer, 1 million Paco Rabanne. Despite you don't like it, you like it or not, you can agree that this fragrance changed forever the game. And Herod by Parfum de Marly. Of course, there's so much more that I could have talked about, but these are the main ones. Deepest condolences to the family. Financial news. Kering acquires Krivda for approximately $3 billion. So Kering is a luxury French group that has under its umbrella brands such as Balenciaga, Bottega Veneta, Gucci, Alexander McQueen, and YSL. They would own Creed in full by the second half of 2023. If you follow the news, you would know that Kering acquires in the beginning of February a new division, and it's the beauty division. So Creed would be the first in-house beauty brand of that beauty division. And it's definitely a great news for Kering because, of course, Creed does a lot of money in the fragrance industry, not only in the fragrance industry, but everywhere. Who didn't hear of Aventus, of course? And to tell you a little bit of number, Creed generated $273 million this financial year ending March 2023. But it's not the only news that we heard this month, because Puig got Byredo. Puig is like the group that has Paco Rabanne, Nina Ricci, things like that. And the group Advent International just acquired Parfum de Marly and Initio. We know those two brands usually work together, so now they're under the umbrella of this group. Definitely a great move because fragrance industry is booming at the moment. A latest fragrance innovation that I wanted to talk about because I think it's super cute. Marc Jacob released Daisy Drops. What it is, first of all, extremely cute, like said before. It's a single dose of fragrance. It's like a capsules, basically. Tiny enough to fit in your pocket, so it's amazing if you're going somewhere and you don't want to bring your bottle of fragrance with you, which is much appreciated. Twist, squeeze, and apply. Done. You have 3 different fragrances, not inside one capsule, but for example, you can choose 3 different fragrances for your Daisy Drops. You have Daisy Classic, which is usually like a bubbly, floral, very simple. You do have also Fresh, a more fruity composition of Daisy, which is lychee, red, grapefruit, things like that. The sensual version of Daisy, which is Love, and this is more cashmere-like, which I really like, a little bit velvety. And what is great to see is that the packaging is in aluminium, so basically it's not something that is dangerous or not eco-responsible, and it basically offers a greener alternative to plastic. Next, Bond No. 9 announced a new in-house master perfumer, following the step of Dior, Chanel, you know, they all have their in-house perfumer. So, for example, François Demachy for Dior, Jacques Paul Olivier Pescheux for Chanel. So this is something that they wanted to get, and I'm actually curious to see how is it gonna change the fragrances in general, because when you have an in-house perfumer, what is great is to have like a DNA that is close to each other, but is it really gonna be the best if you want to get great innovation? And what if the DNA or what the perfumer propose is not really appealing to the public? You're basically a bit stuck. So let's see what it's gonna bring, but me that never really been a fan of Bond No. 9, I'm really curious to see what are gonna be the changes in the composition of the fragrances. I really love Chelsea Night though, the latest one. Anyway, quoting the brand, after 20 years in business, we felt it was time to evolve to the next level. Without an in-house perfumer, it's actually a bit like having a 5-star restaurant without your own chef. I'm not too sure, because we can give like example like Frédéric Malle, for example, that is editing perfumers that have this concept like that is editing perfumers scent. All the scents are very different, but the house is amazing. So it really depends. For me, it's not really a 5-star restaurant. For me, it's like you're trying to step into the field of Chanel and Dior. So it could be a great way to give some luxury credibility, maybe. So the master perfumer is Krivda, senior perfumer, vice president of Man, a global fragrance and flavor company. So it's not a beginner, it's a master perfumer. He's got 40 years of experience. He created scents just like Fantasy from Britney Spears, Ralph Lauren scent, also a lot of scent from Tommy Hilfiger, some scent from J.Lo, Paris Hilton. So to me, all of this looks very American type of perfumery, which is great because Bond No. 9 is from New York, so I think it's going to be a great thing. Next news is from Holly Willoughby. If you're definitely from the UK, you heard about this TV presenter. She also was recently a lot in the news because of the dramatic story with Philip Schofield. I'm not gonna go inside this dramatic story, but it involved child beep 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 beep. So I'm not gonna go in that, but anyway, she has nothing to do with this, obviously, but you know, she was the one that was presenting with Philip Schofield. Anyway, so Holly Willoughby has a brand that is called Wild Mood, so it's not really a fragrance brand, it's more a lifestyle brand. Like for example, she sells book, candles, diffuser, I think, lots of things that would be great for lifestyle, and she has one perfume as well. So she revealed actually a most famous perfume hack. I'll let you just watch the video. Free because if she does that every day, her poor hair are gonna be very damaged. This is something that you hear a lot, like putting fragrance in your hair, like you can see like people like spraying in hair. It's actually not good. Sometimes I do it, but I would always precise to you that I don't advise anyone to do it, especially if you're new to fragrances. You might think it's a good thing for your hair. It is not. So me, I do spray sometimes in my hair like alcohol-based perfume, but most of the time I've got alcohol-free perfume or hair mist to spray in my hair. But sometimes I do it, and particularly like it also depends on the mood of the fragrance. For example, there's a fragrance brand that I will present to you soon that has a fragrance that is all about yoga and aura type of vibe, so you have to spray a bit like that, so it goes a little bit in your hair. Fair enough, as long as you don't do this maybe every day. It's basically like having a lot of sun rays on your skin, you're gonna age quicker. Same for the hair. So preserve your hair, do this if you like, but only from time to time. Talking about hair perfume, there's a big trend actually on the go, and it's the trend of hair mist. Yes. Smooth transition, we call that. At least if you're spraying perfume, like just do it over here, because if you apply it over here, you also gonna create dandruff, which is not a good thing. We don't want dandruff here. What you should do with your hair mist is use it at the end of your fragrance routine. It's very easy, you apply your fragrance as usual, blah blah blah, and the finishing touch is always in your hair. So, or you can spray like a little veil on top of your hair. Great hair mist that I would love to recommend you is the Bedeca line of hair mist. I love this line. I do have the Gris Charnel one that is light woody veil that is so beautiful. You do also have number 5 Coco Mademoiselle, especially in Chanel, Dior and things like that. They always do beautiful hair mist, like Miss Dior hair mist and stuff like that. They are beautifully scented, very luxurious. You also have the hair mist from Kylie that are a little bit more glamorous. Jo Malone if you like something a little bit more simple, tea-like. Halfeti even from Pen Elegance if you like stronger coats. And for me, one of the best is Frédéric Malle hair mist, especially Musk Ravageur. This is to die for, and you don't have this animalic touch. It's more focused on the vanilla for the hair mist. Is incredible. Lingering all day through your hair, and when you move, it smells, and so it's improving the trail and the sillage of your fragrance. We're going to go to very technical info here, so don't mind me if I'm reading a little bit more my notes. I don't want to make any mistake on that subject. So basically the fragrance ingredients are at risk in European Union. You know that the fragrance ingredient, in general, the ingredients of a product is really controlled by the governments. It depends which country you are, but this is really important for obviously like the security of the consumer. But basically there was some news announced lately, and the first one to raise actually the issue was Nicolas Hieronymus. Sorry for killing the name. The CEO of L'Oreal. To give you a little bit of background, in Europe you have very strict regulation for fragrance note or whatever. According to the CEO, are apparently based on not so serious scientific research that cause great ingredient to be cancelled. And that's raising another issue for you. Like you might see sometime your favorite perfume is discontinued or your favorite perfume is reformulated, and this make you crazy. Fair enough, and it's because of those laws mainly. So for the CEO of L'Oreal, it says that he's reducing the creativity, especially when it touches natural ingredients. So the CEO is worried that in the future, we won't be able to smell like proper bergamot, proper roses and things like that because natural ingredients are so controlled. It's totally changing the fragrance making. So you can totally understand why we control more a natural fragrance ingredient, because, for example, you take an apple tree, 2 apple trees. If you test this apple, it's gonna smell different, and there's probably different chemistry inside the apple. And in this other tree, it's gonna smell slightly different, so different type of chemistry in this apple. So it's very difficult to regulate natural ingredients because they move so much. And this is also a problem for people that have allergies, and also for those laws. They tend to be much more stricter to natural ingredient rather than synthetic, because synthetic, you follow a formula, it's very strict, and then it doesn't change, it doesn't move, you know. These new laws takes only into account the potential hazard of substance, but also what level there is. And this is where the issue is. This is something that you cannot control in natural ingredient. So basically, the CEO of L'Oreal raised that this could impact 80% of the fragrance that you can smell nowadays in your perfumery. If these laws are approved, a lot of fragrance brands will have to change their formulation. But unfortunately, some ingredients cannot be substituted. So your favorite Guerlain or favorite Chanel will forever change, and you will never smell it the same as before. And this is why you get a lot of older people having Merlin, sorry for the noise, this is Bunny, having their favorite fragrance, telling you that, oh, number 5 back in the day was not smelling this at all. Well, they're probably right. But if you ask directly to the sales representative of, for example, a famous house, they will tell you that they never changed the fragrance. But he's wrong. Quoting the CEO, natural fragrance ingredients are not just a mixture, they are substances that occur naturally. So it is a little bit more unpredictable. A massive subject, because nowadays it's a big trend, everyone wants something natural, but at the same time the rules are super strict for natural ingredients, so basically it's really hard to use natural anymore. We should also understand that this is for the security of consumer, but for lover of fragrance it might be like a huge blasphemy. The CEO of L'Oreal also wants to reassure, saying that as now your perfume at home achieves the highest standard of consumer safety. So you're already safe, so basically what he's saying is that we don't need more. Finally, some fragrance commercial news. Whitney picks that makes history by being the new face of Chanel, Coco Mademoiselle. Let's remind you that she is gonna be the first person of color to be the face of Coco Mademoiselle, which is finally amazing to see. She's so pretty, and I think she encapsulates so much the vibe that is fun but sensual of Coco Mademoiselle, so gorgeous. Swipe up of the week. So I don't know if you know the application Sniff. It's basically an application that was launched by one of the biggest female fragrance reviewers, Demi Rawling. It's like an Instagram account, but for fragrance. So for example, you arrive to your front page and you have your profile as Instagram, for example. It's really similar to Instagram in the front row, to be honest. And you're not going to put picture, you're going to put your signature fragrances. You're going to put your favorite fragrances for summer, winter, blah, blah, blah. You're going to put your favorite perfumer, the notes that you dislike or you don't like to do. So anyone that will come to your profile will see exactly what you like. So you can possibly do like a Tinder date with someone that has exactly your same scented profile. I did use the application a lot when it was launched, because also you have the functionality that you can add all the fragrances that are in your fragrance collection. For people like me, or maybe you that are watching, that have a huge collection, that need to add all the fragrance in the collection. It's a lot. I think I did enter like around 300 perfume myself, but I stopped at this moment. To be honest, I didn't go to the application very often nowadays. I had a lot of fun doing that at the beginning, but you don't have all the brands over there. Of course, like, you know, you can't have everything because I think they directly partner with the brand, so there's not all the brand. But for example, like 2 or 3 months ago, I think they added like 50 new brands, so it's expanding very quick. And I think it's a great idea. When I've seen Sniff, I think I sent a message to Demi. We don't talk much more because I'm not someone that is, I'm not capable of like texting you on DM when I don't know you and be like, hello, love what you're doing, or, you know, hey, let's be friends. No, I'm not like that. I'm much more like someone that is discreet in that way, and I leave people on their own bubble, and I would be scared that Demi would think that I would like to use a visibility to get views, which is something that I'm very far. Like, I'm more scared of people. I'm too scared of people to actually do something like that, to be honest. But yeah, so I don't really I think I sent her a message for the app and said congratulations, because I actually think that was an amazing idea and something different. It's something that I didn't expect from her, not from her especially, but like from any fragrance reviewer. So I like this. Also, so on the app you have monthly raffles, so basically like you can win some perfume. She does also include her selection of the month. Well, it's Sniff selection of the month, but I guess, you know, it's her selection as well. You do have some very interesting article, and that's why I'm talking about that, about perfumery knowledge in general. Am I correct? Like, for example, this month there was the signification of number onto your perfume bottle. So these are things that we usually don't know about, that would be very useful to know. So, you know, this is great. They also did like an article on discontinued series recently, which I think is amazing, and on history of perfume in general, which is something is great, because the more you know about fragrance history and those stuff, is not to be like a snob at your dinner table or something like that. It's more like, okay, the more I will know about perfume, the more I'm relevant in whatever I say, and even like the more you smell and describe fragrance and know where it's from, the more your nose is refined. But you know, like, it's really helpful actually. Like, it's a job. You know, like it's like cooking. There's chef that has been trained, and there's people that are creating content about cooking. It's a different thing. There's a professional view, and there's the more I'd say practical view. The two are amazing, but it's nice to have a little bit more of knowledge, background, and professional view sometime that you can do at home as well, to actually have more credibility. And even like for yourself, like if you love fragrances, you love to know more about those things, and even the way you will describe a fragrance is going to change. Anyway, so I love this application because it's all about learning and discover. So those months I didn't go very much often to the application. I think that would be nice for me, if I may say. I would love it to be a little bit more interactive, like more focus on community as well. Like, you can react, you can comment on articles, but how about reacting to things like a bit like a Twitter, you know, like you retweet an article, or you can update your status, like things like that, and then we can really have discussion, like Reddit type of vibe in the application. I think that would be great. Anyway, I love this app. I think it's great. I just want to give you some new release. It's going crazy in perfume those years. Like, there's so many new fragrances, but it's easy though in designer, especially because it's a lot of flankers, and now niche perfume are doing flankers too. So there's so many new fragrances. For example, you have the new BDK Pas Ce Soir extrait. So you have Pas Ce Soir classic. By the way, I did a review on BDK if you want to have a look. It's a short video, so don't worry. But basically, didn't try the fragrance just yet, but if it's like Gris Chanel Extrait, it was an amazing release, so I'm looking forward to try this. It's already launched. Hein? Also, you have the Fame Parfum by Paco Rabanne. I'm not really looking forward to this, but why not? Guerlain, also, you have the Bee Garden. That is such an iconic bottle. They do all the time, like Guerlain has some limited edition of very beautiful bottles that I think really nice. And there's a fragrance from Hermès Un Jardin à Citer. I am in love. Let me tell you, I'm in love. I tried it in France, I sprayed it on me, and I smelled the ricey aspect. It smelled like the thickness of rice, you know. And I love that. Freshness with rice accord. I love that. I want that in my collection. The last time I smelled some rice accord like this was from Affinessence Santal Basmati. And I absolutely love this. If you never smell a ricey fragrance, you need to try your nose on this because this is a whole different experience. You might hate it, but it's different. There's a new release also that is Lovers from Fragrance du Bois. I will tell you more about this release probably on Instagram because I'm going to the launch event. It's already been launched, but there's like an event for Fragrance du Bois in London next week. So I'm gonna go there, so let's see. I'm excited, I didn't try it neither. There's Alien Goddess Supla Floral. Alien at the moment is like doing so many releases. Alien Goddess, I liked it. Supra Floral, I guess it's a little bit more flowery. Let's see. There's Idol Now. Good Fortune, Eau de Parfum Intense by Viktor and Rolf. I'm not sure. It's funny how quick this flanker came after the original Good Fortune. I don't think Good Fortune was working that much. So they released like very quick after the Eau de Parfum Intense. Already an intense after such little time. I don't know. I think for me, like Victor and Rolf decided to surf on the trend of like witches. You know, like on TikTok, there's a lot of witch and stuff like that, which there's some stuff that I like I always like to see like tarot card and maybe some astrology, but more fun. I'm not really believing in astrology, but I think it's fun. But there's some witch stuff that are very scaring me out, to be honest. When they started to do ritual, I'm a bit scared. I prefer my fragrance ritual, you see? Anyway, so they surf on this and making like a weird bottle like that. For me, it doesn't really reflect the Viktor and Rolf vibe. I think it looks like a Paco Rabanne fragrance to me. Anyway, there's another La Vie est Belle Iris Absolute that is launched. When are they gonna stop doing La Vie est Belle fragrance? Flankers, I don't know, there's shitloads of flanker. It's so annoying, to be honest, at this point, but why not? Another subject is me. This one is my first sentence so far, so I decided to talk about something that happened to me recently on Instagram. So I'm not going to complain, but basically I recently went up the 100K followers on Instagram, which I'm really happy about. To be honest, at the beginning I couldn't believe it because it grew so fast that I didn't understand what happened, and I've seen that during holidays and I was crying. I started by Instagram, so Instagram is a social media that I really love, and to be honest, I put so much work into this that for me, I literally cried. Remember, like when I was full-time working for Chanel, I was working only during the night to put up my content on Instagram, for example, or YouTube, and I was not sleeping. It was very tough years for me because this is I wanted to earn my freedom, you see, and for me to see it finally breaking out, like working like this, like I'm not gonna cry today, but it felt really good, like, because I was like, I feel I earned it, because you can't imagine how many days I was like, I'm not even paid for what I'm doing. Why am I doing that? Like, you know, it's never gonna work. And one day it works. So, you know, like, I think it's not a question of talents here. It's just a question of let's keep going, you know. Anyway, so there's a video in my Instagram that blossomed and did 24 million views. And also 24 million opinions on it. So you know, it's this video when I organize my fragrance collection. It's something I always did anyway out of cameras. But then I've seen, like, for example, this video that is really... Mais c'est pas vrai. Lifestyle influencer that was doing a lot of those kind of videos, like on handbag, shoes, and where they organize the collection. So I did it for my fragrance too. And there was a lot of comments. And at the beginning I was replying to everyone, but at some point, like, you can't reply to everyone. And then I could see so much negativity in the comments. And I was like, okay, this is the time where I need to protect myself and take that as humor. Because some can be very harsh without even knowing you, you know. It's funny because this time, because I knew there were gonna be like some comments like this, I've put a long description explaining everything and the main subject that I knew they would complain about, and nobody reads it. People just swipe, and funny, and at the same time a bit upsetting. So let me know what you think about those comments, but it's quite funny. So for example, the first one, that is a funny one, use me as an anxiety button, which I can understand. There's so many different fragrances that sometimes even me going to my room, I get an anxiety attack, so I get it. Next one, on this episode of I'm Rich, You're Poor. This one make me laugh so much because I'm broke as fuck. Maybe I have a Chanel bag, but my Chanel bags, I had it because I work for Chanel, so you know. My nice stuff, I have them over the years, and if they talking to me about clothes and stuff, I always buy in charity, so I don't spend a lot of money on that, first of all. And for my fragrance, like, I built the collection over years, and also, like, when you decided to buy yourself holiday and you went to Ibiza during summer, I was buying fragrance and I was eating pasta the rest of the month. So, you know, it's funny, why do you comment those things if you don't know the story of someone? Literally, you could have a collection of Jordan's trainers and have nothing else in your flat. Like, you know, to tell you a little bit talking about money, when I used to work for Chanel, I used to earn good money, you know, like I used to do really good money actually. Then I changed job to go to a social media management job, which I cut down in half my salary. But it's just because I am knowledge hungry. I wanted to know more about how to social media or manage and stuff like this. My salary went really down, but because I was learning, I knew what I was doing. I was like, it's okay, I'm happy to earn less. Because it's easy to say that if you don't know me, but I never been driven by money. Like, for me, like, I always work by passion, you know? So, and now as a full-time fragrance reviewer, I'm telling you, I've never been that poor. So maybe one day it's gonna work and I'm gonna have a huge contract or something like this, but for now I'm poor. And I'm okay with it. Like, you know, sometimes I manage to do like paid collaboration that give me a little bit of money for the month. Thank gosh, but to be honest, I could do more, but I don't do because there's a lot of... I need to be perfectly aligned to the fragrance brand if I want to get paid with a brand. All of that to say that it makes me laugh a lot because, yes, I am broke at the moment, you know, so... I'm not, but I'm really happy. I'm actually the happiest that I've been since years and years. Of course, I have the support of my boyfriend Edwin that is there, which is amazing. But, you know, like, I just thought that for me, I don't need a lot. Yes, I have a lot of perfume, but it's my job. And that's the only thing I have. But I'm happy with, like, having less, but having time. We are all interested in a collection of something. She's interested in perfume. Why not be happy for her? Thank you. Then, a strong earthquake and all is gone. Let me remind you that if there's a strong earthquake, your house is gone too. Not just my perfume. And then someone saying light is bad for perfume. So that's really funny. And actually, a lot of comments were on, oh, you know, there's the sunlight, they're all expired, blah, 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 blah. In my description, I said that whenever I'm not filming, 23 hours out of 24, this room is in the complete dark. The room is also colder than my flat. So basically, it's a really good condition for the perfume to be displayed. Of course, the best thing you could do for your perfume is leave it in a closet or leave it in this box and don't open it from the box. But me, I'm a fragrance reviewer. Every day I do videos about my perfume. Imagine the waste of time that I do if I have to look for my perfume like this. And also, for my brain, when I look at the display like this, I think of video and stuff like that. So for me, it's my work. It's different. I'm not telling you to do that with your perfume. If you ask me what to do with displaying your fragrance, yes, keep it in the box. Or put it in a closed closet, you see, with doors, so it will be perfectly hidden from the light and stuff like this, and away from steam, away from hot, you know, temperature. And yes, you can keep that way your fragrance years and years. For example, good example, I've got my YSL Parisienne since more than 10 years now. Actually more than that, because I had this fragrance when I was 16. So more than 10 years I have this fragrance, it didn't move at all. Like, you know, I have many like this that hasn't moved. Some a little bit after so many years because of my fault. Before I was moving a lot. I was also living in a tiny studio that was not isolated. So because I was broke in London. So yeah, like some of my fragrance, they had a rough time. But most of my fragrance, and I'm talking about 95% of my fragrance collection, has lots of years behind them and are in a perfect condition. So it's funny that people are saying that where they has no clue. Anyway, so next comment is quite funny. Why would anyone spend so much money for fragrances? Girl! I'm not a girl, I'm a woman. You actually need one or two. Oh, maybe three. Maybe three. There are people who can't buy food in this world. This is complete wastefulness and haram. And then for the people that were starving in the world, this is the most useless thing. Yes, obviously I know, but how do you know that I'm not giving something to someone? Why do you judge? Like, you know, I could tell you the same, which is why I answer. I said, next time you're buying yourself holiday, I will tell you the same. I don't tell you how to spend your money, which is true. And also, if you really want to play on that, nearly all my clothes and nearly all of my accessories are bought in charity, or for cancer research, or for animals, or for, what is this? Usually is children care. Anyway, for charities, you know, because I buy in charities. Most of my time I buy in charities. What can you say about yourself? You know, like, so me, I probably like give more to charity. Throughout all my life, I probably like spend more money on charity than perfume for myself, for my career. Also, this is for my career, you know, just not for only for myself. Anyway, it's quite funny. So what do you think of that? Do you think, you know, like it makes sense? So, I'm just happy that the video worked. I don't mind the comments like this. I understand, but you know, like what is funny is that how people comment without knowing the background. Like, oh, there's a guy actually that I didn't tell you that. So I went on holiday during 3 weeks recently. That's why you didn't see my face too often. But before going on holiday, I worked a lot to actually schedule video for you when I'm away, at least one a week, and a lot more of shorts as well, YouTube shorts. So I worked a lot before, like much more than I'm usually doing. It was really hard, like 7 days out of 7 anyway, just to make sure, you know, you have some stuff, you know. And also for me to enjoy fully my holiday without stressing, being like, oh, you know, I don't do anything for my channel, blah, blah, blah. And I go back from holiday, and the first comment that I see on my YouTube video is like, oh, you're asking for people to subscribe, but you don't even answer to comments, blah, 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 na, na, na. I was like, Okay, so I cannot even have holiday. Amazing. Anyway, it's funny because I especially at the beginning of the year, I replied to all the comments on my channel, which took me like probably a week to do that on my French channel and my English channel. And I don't have a popular channel, a very popular channel. So imagine how it is for a very popular channel to reply to everything. People just don't realize how much it takes time. And usually, like, I reply to comments after I finish working. So usually it's when I'm supposed to have dinner with my boyfriend. Because I don't have like 50 hours in one day, you know, I'm just like you. So, which is not very nice, you know, for a person. You talk to someone and you're replying to comment anyway. But I do love to reply to comments, though. It's really nice. And I think I always have a big smile usually when I do my comments because I'm a lucky one. This was really one of the other, but most of my comments, probably like 99% of my comments are super sweet. And I really appreciate. And also what is funny now is that you're a bit more part of my family because there's some people I actually know. I know their tastes, you know. I don't know them like physically, but you know, when I see the name, I'm like, oh, this person, she like this, she like that, she does this, she does that, I know this from her. It's funny, you know. Anyway, thank you guys for this. Perfumer quote of the week by Jean-Claude Helena. If you don't know Jean-Claude Helena, he was the in-house perfumer of Hermès, for example, for years. No, not anymore. But if you want to do a beautiful freshie that lasts, just call Jean-Claude Helena. Done. Anyway, so he said, perfume is a story in odor, sometimes poetry in memory. He also said, quoting, smell is a word, perfume is literature. And I love those quotes. They're very simple, but because sometimes people are like, oh, it's just smelly waters. Well, no, actually, there's a massive history behind. And like Jean-Claude Helena said, it's literature. Like you put a word with a word with a word together to make a beautiful sentence, a metaphor or something. And this is what a fragrance is. So I love this. I don't know if you know, but every time I'm doing like a more relaxed video on my channel since the beginning, I always like to talk a little bit of my mental health at least. And I know that a lot of people can relate. And I think it's important to talk about mental health. Everyone is suffering, not especially from disease, but everyone has been struggling with mental health at least once in their life. So I think it's important to do some reminders sometime. Choosing peace over drama and distance over disrespect, it's top tier self-care. And this is great to remind yourself sometime that yes, some friends can be toxic to you. And you know, when I was younger, I was thinking, oh, I should have as many friends as possible and I'm gonna be the happiest. No. Sometimes to preserve yourself, you should just have one or two that you really trust. The rest is usually not there just for you. And it's fine and maybe more relaxing to go away from all those reaction dramas that you're gonna get every day when you have big groups of friends, and just take some distance. It's important. The story of the week in the fragrance community is by the Fragrance Foundation. Many of you guys ask me, how do I go to events? It's not because you're just an Instagram person that you can go to events or you're going to be invited to events. It's also a little bit of research. When I was not on social media, I used to go to events too. So for example, you can go to the Fragrance Foundation website or the stories. Like for example, those stories this week, they were showing a few events that happened in Harrods, masterclass with perfumers. So this is nice little event that you can go to listen to perfumers who just talk about fragrance, which can be very interactive or sometimes just like a class. These are really nice events that probably would make you love fragrance even more. So I recommend you to follow the Fragrance Foundation. Sometimes they can be useful. You can directly register. Sometimes you have to pay for masterclass. For those ones, you had to pay £35, which I saw was quite a lot of money. But, you know, there was, for example, Alberto Morillas that was here. But so, you know, it's a master perfumer, iconic one. So For a nice time like this, I probably would pay that. So anyway, you have like nice events like this, so I recommend you to have a look. Also, you can go, if you want to see some events, I recommend you to go to Jovoy website. Usually they are they tell you when they do events in the store in Mayfair or whatever they can. So it's really nice. The fragrance meme of the week. I am done for this week. I hope you enjoy this little format that is a little bit more comfortable for me, except the fragrance news where I have to be sitting like a journalist. But anyway, if you prefer me to completely do everything on the sofa, no problem, I can do it on the sofa. Huh? Guys, I wish you a lovely day. Don't forget to tell me in the comment if you enjoy that longer format, if you want more, and how often do you want it or not, or if you want me to stop, no problem. My camera said bye, so I'm telling you bye like this. Thank you so much for watching. Don't hesitate to tell me your opinion on this format, and see you very soon. Bye now.